There you go. Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Dr. Bob Lee, and you're watching Open. It's that live interactive program that brings the Bronx and New York City straight to your TV set. Stay connected to us through social media at BronxNet TV. Leading things off, our first guest is the president of the NAACP Bronx Branch, and he joins us to speak about the community initiatives that the organization is focusing on and highlight their Leadership and Empowerment Award ceremony. It's coming your way, and we'll tell you all about it right here. Welcome to the show, Mr. Cleveland E. Beckett Jr. Welcome. Always good to see you, too.
Yes,
How are you?
yes, it's been a while.
Yeah, I know last time, let me see, I can't even place it anymore.
I think the last time was either at a civic event or when I worked at Lehman College, but it's been some years. That was pre-COVID, so
Yeah.
been some time.
Well, it's always good to see you. Welcome to the show, and for our viewers, share a little bit about yourself, your background.
Sure. So I'm Cleveland E. Beckett Jr. I'm the current president of the NAACP Bronx Branch. Became the president in January of 2023. My background is rich in terms of public policy. So I've worked for elected officials. I've been a lobbyist. I run my own strategic communications firm. And I'm here today to talk about the types of activities that the NAACP Bronx Branch has kind of been engaged in. And so first I want to say thank you to you, Dr. Bob Lee, and the BronxNet. You know, I'm an aficionado of public broadcasting and community news. I believe in getting the news from the right sources,
there you go,
with the right intent, and who cultivate people to be engaged in like the life and affairs of their city and their neighborhood. So I want to first thank you for saying that.
I mean, it's serious, too, what you just said. You have to know where you're getting that information from because you're going to tell it. And that's what it's designed to do. If you see a headline pop up on your phone, you're going to call a friend, hey, did you know that such a... But you didn't read the whole thing, and you don't know whose name is on the bottom of that thing. Who wrote that?
Right. And that's called civic engagement, right?
Yeah.
And so the NAACP founded, it's 1909, has a track record. If you don't know the history, all you need to know is that the NAACP is the oldest civil rights organization in America.
Yeah.
And so many of the privileges that we have now, access to education, employment, voting, that's because of the NAACP.
Right.
So we have thousands of branches across the globe. The Bronx Branch was formed in 1947. So we're getting ready to embark on our 80th year. And so coming out of COVID, as I said, I became the president after we were kind of trying to come out of COVID. It was important for us to make sure that, one, we made sure that we followed the traditional programs, you know, take your souls to the polls, issues to the polls, which meant that we go in our local communities, right? And we make sure that residents, voters are aware of the issues and why these issues specifically speak to them. Because if you're speaking and no one hears you, or they don't feel oneness with the issue, then they're not engaged.
Out of there,
right? And so some of our major activities were very focused on healthcare. So we had a symposium talking about the healthcare Bill of Rights, that many consumers of healthcare aren't familiar with that. So we had to thank our partner, Lincoln Hospital. That was early last year.
Before you go on, but continue that, but I just want to break in right here. How important is healthcare, especially this day and age where a lot of that stuff is going to be...
And I'm glad you asked that because at least under my current tenure, we're focusing on healthcare, education, economic development, which means apprenticeships, jobs, and voting rights. So we want to make sure we cover all these different sectors. So as a part of that, as you know, a few years ago, we had the March on Washington for jobs and employment, jobs and education. We started our W.E.B. DuBois Leadership and Empowerment Breakfast. And it was an opportunity to recognize individuals, but it was an opportunity, one, to go into the communities, re-engage with the community after COVID, and also to build allies in organized labor, in organizations like the Memorial Foundation in Washington, D.C., to help us build this message. So what do? In addition to all the things that we normally did, we targeted over 20,000 voters in Bronx County, some who were infrequent voters and some who were the traditional diehard voters. And we talked about messages that were important. Healthcare is one of those issues. So we're going to be looking to hopefully partner in the coming months with other health organizations to talk about employment opportunities, but also to understand what does that big, bad, ugly bill really mean. And right now,
you're breaking it down.
People are concerned, especially when you consider that we don't know when some of those cuts are going to occur. Some of them are going to be immediate. So if you had health care coverage in one particular area, the reimbursement rate may not be the same to the hospital. Who's to say that you will still be covered for actions that were once previously covered? And elected officials and the public respond when you're engaged. And so election day is important. We've now entered early voting. That started on Saturday, goes till November 2nd. And election day is November 4th. It's important to elect people to office. It's important even more so to have people be accountable while in their office.
Wait a minute, election day is tomorrow.
Yeah, we started already.
Yeah.
You're right. Election day is tomorrow.
Right.
Because early voting will end on November the 2nd. And then election day will be Tuesday, November the 4th. So we urge everyone to go out and vote appropriately at the polls and to build their plan for how they're going to be voting on that day.
Yeah. And you mentioned Lincoln Hospital. We do a lot with Lincoln Hospital. How are you guys working together?
So that's an excellent point. So we hold our monthly membership meetings at Lincoln Hospital, right? So we appreciate their stewardship there, obviously.
I love what they're doing in our community.
Definitely. And we've been fortunate to build partners across the boroughs. So, for example, Albert Einstein College of Medicine.
I love what they're doing.
For Einstein, they were one of our sponsors last year for our Empowerment Awards breakfast. And so we're building a range of activities. We've worked with organized labor, District Council number 9 of the International Union of Painters and Allied Trades. With some of the laborers. And I mentioned earlier about the Memorial Foundation in Washington, D.C. They've supported us every single year. And we're doing this because we want to advance in other partnership areas. So healthcare will be one of them. Economic development, we've already started a collaboration with Fordham University. As you know, they have their Green Job Center, which was recently announced. That's going to be open, I believe, in the next fall. And I'm pleased to serve as on one of their enrollment working groups.
And you have the Leadership and Empowerment ceremony coming up, right?
Well, we recently concluded that.
You did?
But we're going to be planning for next year.
The next one.
So that one was held in August, the last Saturday in August. And we had some dynamic honorees, some of whom I'm sure you probably know. One is a fantastic gentleman, Michael J. Garner.
Oh, yeah.
So Michael J. Garner, currently director of the Minority Women-Owned Business Enterprises with the Mayor's Office.
We're going to be doing the voice work on it. There he is right there.
Okay.
Big shout out to Michael
Phenomenal
Garner.
human being. So we gave him our W.E.B. Du Bois Civic Leadership Award.
All right.
And you couldn't think of a finer person to have that. And then because I mentioned the partnership with labor, we honored Miss Gloria J. Middleton, who's the president of the Communications Workers of America, Local 1180. She also was phenomenal. She, for many years, in addition to being a branch president,
I love her. She's
first
great.
Female labor union president. She served for many years as the chair of the Civil Rights Committee for the CWA nationwide. And this is a phenomenal partner. They, too, were one of our sponsors. And then last but not least is the Reverend Dr. Malcolm J. Bird. Who's the pastor of Mother AME Zion Church in Harlem.
There he is right
there. He's also the chief operating officer for the National Action Network. But has an NAACP background. He was a branch president at his local college campus at Livingstone. So these partnerships are important because if you're going to have connectivity to the community, you have to honor and recognize people from the community, but you also have to have the resources so that when you go into the community, you can put on forums, you can engage in resource activities.
And then you have something coming up in the community. You got the community partners and allies. How they support the NAACP, the Bronx Branch.
So a couple of different things. Number one, we're going to be including the community in our mobilization efforts. Every year, we as a state, with all the branches, we travel to Albany, and we talk about critical issues, whether it's criminal justice, healthcare, economic development, education, what have you. And so there are many people who are engaged in the work on the ground. Sometimes they might not have all the technical knowledge of how do I engage with my elected official to make it effective? How do I galvanize people in the community who are interested in the topic but might not know or see themselves as plugging in? How do we do that? Well, that's something that the NAACP has a track record of doing. And so we want to make sure that we engage them as well where appropriate, right? To make sure that people in our communities are that much more well-informed and, quite frankly, that we act.
Yeah.
Because if we're well-informed, but we don't lead to some action at some point, then we might not be able to implement the change that we want to see.
Yeah, I like when you mentioned earlier that, NAACP is responsible for a lot of the people coming up in the past. There were a lot of activists, shoulders we stood on. Yeah. And a lot of those people are displayed in my book, People to Know in Black History and Beyond. Not to promote my book, but just to line it up with what you were saying earlier. So, and I got to let you know that the president of the New York State branch, Hazel Dukes, is the one who got me in, and she, I'm a lifetime member of the NAACP, but she put me into the Mid-Manhattan branch.
Excellent, excellent. Well, that's good. We have friends. It's funny you mentioned that. Mrs. Dukes, I had the opportunity to actually work for her a couple of times at the state conference level dealing with civic engagement. And when I worked, I used to be the prison project coordinator at one point for the NAACP in the Northeast, when Mr. Kwesi Mfume was the president. And I got that job at the training of Mrs. Hazel Dukes. Yeah. And she was a magnificent woman and very powerful.
You had your boots on the ground for a long time,
Very
man.
powerful.
Thank you for all that you do and continue to do for our community and through the NAACP.
Well, thank you. But again, I really want to acknowledge and appreciate you because you've been out here for a very long time, highlighting people, all different areas, communities, vocations, about the things that they're trying to do in their communities. And quite frankly, if we don't have good stakeholders and good hosts who are willing to also enable us to, come on a show and amplify a message, whether we're on a show or not, then quite frankly, it's like a tree in the forest that falls. Did anyone hear it?
I know. Brother Cleveland E. Beckett Jr. Cleveland E. Beckett Jr., President NAACP Bronx Branch.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for coming on. And you're always welcome to come on and participate in what we're doing so we can share it. People moving together in the same direction for a common cause. That's what it's all about. All right, we'll take a quick break right here. I've got more open coming your way next.